So we are going to take a deep dive into the Courtney Clenney Aspen, Colorado fight. Now, if you've been following this case, you probably remember this video that we're going to call the Aspen fight video. But what we're going to get into here, we're going to look at everything that Lexington management sent in response to a subpoena request. That's where this video originated from. This is Andy, someone that's part of Lexington management. That's the person that recorded this video. We're going to look at anything else relating to Aspen that's part of that subpoena response. We're also going to look at personal notes from Courtney Clenney from the Notes app in her phone. And we're going to tie in some other pieces of evidence that relate to this time period in their relationship. So some statements from the defense attorneys, as well as, stuff that happened right before this trip went down where something happened with Christian's face. So we're going to get into all of that. Before we do, I do want to just say there's been no trial yet. In fact, on the 23rd, this is April 20th when I'm recording this, probably publishing on the 21st. On April 23rd, so that's Tuesday coming up if you're watching this right when it posts, there is going to be a status hearing, which means we might actually finally get a trial date. So as we go through this stuff, please keep in mind that we're just looking at what's available. It doesn't mean that the jury is going to get to see all of the stuff just because it was submitted through discovery. There might be other reasons it might not be admissible in front of a jury. So as we go through some of this stuff, we can say, please share your thoughts. Please comment in the chat if you are watching this on the premiere, or leave a comment if you're watching the replay. Because some of our thoughts we get to say, hey, if we were jurors and we were looking at this in the courtroom, this is how I'd feel about it. It's great insight to share with one another. I always love that stuff. So please make sure you subscribe if you want to see more Courtney Clenney content, especially as I'm going through some more exhibits. And I do plan to stream this status hearing that's coming up on Tuesday. So if you want to join for that, that's the 23rd. It's scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Subscribe, hit the bell so you'll see when I'm actually going live on that day. But let's get into it. And we're going to start with, it was actually a publicly posted video. It's on her Instagram account. And I'm only going to show a clip of it because what's important to notice is her hand's already casted here. She has a little wrap on two of her fingers. You got it, girl! You can see it. This is Eye of the Tiger. Yeah. All right. So she's going to get in. They're doing an ice bucket challenge. That's great. The creators, I guess if you stay in for a certain amount of time, you get a Chanel bag. So that's what they're competing for there. But really why I'm showing this is because it's in the folder. It takes place before the fight where she's in those striped pants. This video is before that. So these fingers, they're casted potentially for another reason. We're also going to see them mentioned in the notes before the trip takes place. I got headphones in. So just for posterity, this video is oddly named. It's in a separate area. It's in the same folder, but it's in a different order than the rest of them. This one has its own name. But we can assume it was taken at some point during this fight. We don't know if it was the very first video. I don't know, but it's part of it.
I'm telling you the honest truth. I did not say that, CC, and that's what is.
She told me a lot of details.
Now it's important that we hear her Christian call Courtney CC. Courtney Clenney is probably where he's getting that from. Her initials would be CC. We see that the management team refers to her as CT for Courtney Taylor, her middle name, and her, that's the name she goes by on social media. But Christian calls her CC. And that's going to be important because when we look through some of the notes, maybe not in this video, but other videos that we look through them, at times it seems like she just copies and pastes what Christian has messaged her, and she pastes it into her notes app, perhaps to remember it or look at it some other time. And being able to see the mention of CC is an indication as we go through those things that, hey, this isn't her saying this. This is something that seems like she copied and pasted from Christian, because that's what Christian called her, CC. So random detail, it might come into play later in this video when we look at some of the notes, but it'll definitely come into play if you look at other videos that we do on the Courtney Clenney case.
Christian, you better fucking admit it, because I know you did. Christian, she told me details.
Let me know the details.
I'm not telling you. I know them. No, Christian, fucking admit it. Just be a man.
I did not say that.
Be a man.
I'm telling you the truth.
And then that's the full clip of this video in the file that I received. Now, if we go to where there's actually a sequence, the numerical sequence, it's IMG 5223 is the next one we're going to look at.
I need to, I feel really fucking embarrassed.
I really feel bad.
Can you go snowboarding?
No, it's not.
You go do whatever you want to. Go snowboarding.
I wanted to go eat with you. Can we all just
Yo, man, every time you say, shower in front of people, I want to say things back, but, I'm just not, so petty as you. Honestly, you make me look bad in front of people, I can make you look very fucking bad. So stop doing that shit to me. Or just want it done to yourself. Think about it. Think about it.
I would hang for you. I'm sorry that she lied to you. I did not say that to Milan. I'm so fucking sorry.
We're over that. We're past it.
We're over, but that's what started it. But hey.
That's the end of that one. The next one is the direct next one. We go from 5223 to 5224.
Like, it's like, I heard what the girls were saying about me yesterday.
Nobody said shit.
Shut up! Why can't you guys just listen to me?
That's bullshit.
Nobody said that.
No one said that.
Everybody
Why
likes
can't you
you.
fucking, like, I don't
Everybody
like,
likes you.
Like, really, I just want to fucking be validated. Why does anything I say not matter? When I talk, it matters.
It just hurts me to hear.
No,
that.
shut up. When I talk, it matters. I know when I talk, God hears. God hears. And if y'all don't, it's fine. And what I say matters.
What you say matters, but saying that the people here don't like you is factually incorrect. It's a false statement.
You should just read my text.
With who? With who?
Ask Milan.
Ask Mulan what?
Yo, okay, and now you're more mad at me than
And that's the end of that one. The next one is 5225, right in order.
me, so I started crying. That's why it took so long. I did my makeup 4 times. I will never take you on this shit again, even if we're together.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
Because I never get my shit done with you around.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I gotta go to sleep. Yeah, I gotta. Y'all, like, talk. Don't fucking stop. Like, what the fuck? There's a reason for this shit. There's levels to this shit.
And that's the end of that one. That was 5225. The next one available to me in this response folder is 5228. And that's the one.
No, like, I was fucking sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like, you're hindering my progress.
You need to sit down. You need to sit down.
Let go of me. Let go of me.
Come on.
Let go of me.
Okay.
Come on, boy. Let go of me.
What?
Like, I can't even, like, I'll try to hit you later. Like, get the fuck off me.
You don't want to hit me?
Christian, he saw me, and I know he's looking. I'm fucking, like, fed up with you. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with how you fucking treat me. Yes, I'm not mad at you.
You let Milan say some lying ass shit that affected you.
I didn't let her say anything.
didn't say-
You fucking did it.
Hey, let's go to Milan right now. Let's pull up to her.
No. I'm just gonna see her the scene.
No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now.
I dare you.
Yeah,
to
you
say
dare
something.
me? Keep saying
You
it.
do it.
Then stop saying it then.
Do it.
Then stop saying
Do
it
it.
then. Then stop saying it then.
Let's look. Actually,
Pull up. Come on.
like, let me get my fucking shot.
Ask her. Ask her, did I touch her
Do
breast
you see
yesterday?
how fucking instigative he is?
No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday when I fucking...
You did. I didn't say you fucking touched it.
You said I did.
You were
this
leaning. Yo, you were dumb as fuck. I actually don't want to be with you. Actually, I'm done.
Okay.
Can you send him home?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm done.
Okay, fine.
Fucking done. Done. Because you're fucking, like, you're costing me money. I didn't do shit since I got to this fucking house because of you.
You let Milan say some lying ass shit.
No, because you were fucking flirting with fucking, like, 3 girls the whole time.
What 3 girls? What 3 girls? You?
Well, maybe
You,
it didn't
you?
matter.
You,
it was
you?
Milan.
Milan? I was flirting with Milan?
And she's saying, hey, come get your mans.
You're fucking lying.
He's trying to come home with me.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
You're lying. She said, come get your man that I was trying to hit on Milan. Come on, baby.
Okay.
That doesn't even sound right.
Christian, you're fired.
Fine.
Hopefully, shut up.
You will never see me again. You are the most
Good, bitch. Good.
motherfucker I ever met in my
Hopefully
life.
you will let me.
Courtney.
Fuck you too. Get the fuck out of here. This isn't your fucking house.
Yeah, cool.
It's not my house. Like, you're just like my fucking boyfriend. Get the fuck out of
I'm
here.
just like your
I
boyfriend?
can actually get like shit done if you're not here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, I'll remember that next time.
Get out of here. No, that's not gonna be the next time. Get the fuck out.
Stop touching
Get
me.
out.
Don't touch me again.
Good thing, get out, bitch.
will.
Get out.
Bitch.
You never loved me. The way you talk, the way that you treated the fucking girls last night, you fucking embarrassed me. I don't want anything to do with you.
I embarrassed you yesterday. You're really just self-conscious. You always talk about, oh, Christian, you like this. I say, what did I tell you before? You're the baddest person in this bitch. No one has anything on you. I tell you this every day. I have text messages that you say, Christian, thank you for the content.
Shut up! But you don't do it the next day!
Why are you screaming? There's people in this house.
Get out, get out, get out, for real. I never want to see you again.
Ooh.
And that's the end of that one. And then the next video, we go from 5228 to 6660. And again, that doesn't mean that gap could just be because stuff wasn't relevant. I do think it's interesting that in the middle of the fight, we go from 5225 to 5228. So, you know, I don't have an explanation for that that's conclusive. I can take some guesses. Perhaps it was deleted and it was just, he couldn't respond to the subpoena with something that he may have deleted for one reason or another. It's possible that the one video with the toes was renamed and that was one of the videos that would have been between that sequence. Third, it could be under a protective order with the court and it wasn't returned to me in my records request. So for posterity, I wanted to let you guys know that there were, based on the sequence, we did jump from 5225 to 5228 during the course of going through the videos from the fight. And then the next one that we have is hat store. So presumably this was after the fight, and they're good. They're together. They're actually separate from everybody else. So, and this would be a good time, guys, if you have thoughts on, you know, especially if you've only seen the one Aspen, Colorado video fight and you didn't see the other footage. What do you think of the additional videos? We go from she's in just the bralette, the crop bra, and the leggings. And then in that last video, she's got her jacket on, she's got her purse, but she's not leaving. I think at one point she says, you know, I'm going to pour another shot.
Let's
Come on.
ask her. Ask her, did I touch her breast
Do you see
yesterday?
how fucking instigative he is?
No, you're telling me I touched her breast yesterday. Let's stop right now. Let's pull up
No,
her.
no, I'm just gonna see her the scene.
No, she's in the group chat. Let's put her on the phone right now.
I dare you.
Yeah, you dare me? Keep saying
you
it.
You do it.
Then stop saying it then.
Do it.
Then stop saying it then. Then stop saying it then. Let's
pull up. Come
on. Ask her. Ask her, did I touch?
So I feel like right there she's mentioning pouring another shot. I can't hear it clearly, but at the same time, she, in between this clip and the last one that we have available to us, she puts her jacket on, she gets the thing, it's like she's about to leave. But then she sits back on the couch and she wants to pour a shot. And this is going to kind of reflect some of the sentiments that we see in the app notes. In general, you'll see them, a consistent theme in the notes in general, but even in this time frame, the notes from this time frame say this sort of thing. We're going to see her express a sentiment of, you know, when I leave, I don't mean it. Or when I tell you to leave, I don't actually want you to leave. So I thought just seeing that she didn't have that jacket on when the fight started and she put it on as if she was going to leave, that's what one would think. Was she really actually planning to leave? Did she change her mind in the moment? And this is where I want to stop and ask you guys with fresh eyes, what are you thinking so far? Now, with that being said, I want to talk about some of the photos that we have. And Courtney had even posted some of these. These photos in the red were taken in Aspen. And she had posted them on different days after she was back from Aspen. She added it as content to her feed. It's actually some of the last content available. And what's important to note here is in these photos, it's actually visible in one of them on her Instagram. It's just touched up a bit, but you can see this cut on her arm. And this one, it's a lot more apparent. This looks like the raw file, right? There's discoloration here on her arm. This one, I would call it clearly bruised up, you know? And then this one, you can see like discoloration, looks like maybe something on her wrist, you know, bruise up here, a lot of stuff going on. And again, we're gonna look at the notes, and I think it's gonna become very clear that these fingers were already wrapped before the Aspen fight took place, before she went to Aspen. But this discoloration wasn't visible when she did that ice water challenge. So potentially these are after the fight we just watched, some of that punching. Maybe there was more to it than we were able to actually see, or maybe all of this happened during that moment. I don't know. What do you guys think? And we're about to close out with some of the subpoena response from Lexington Capital. And again, Andy is the guy that's recording those videos. But I want to look at two other things that were in this response folder, this subpoena response folder. This is a chat thread. It's like a group chat with a bunch of the members from Lexington Capital and whoever's on the team managing Courtney Clenney. And then you also see Christian here. Now it says Christian Courtney Taylor, but I'm pretty sure it just says Courtney Taylor to indicate who Christian's associated with. Because Courtney shows up in some other like business related text messages between them. And she's named as just Courtney Taylor. But here, this is all the way back in April 13th, 2021. So, hey, boys, we've got Christian here along with Evan, Courtney Taylor, CT, executive, and Ryan, her social executive. Christian's on board to help Courtney get her content game on. Christian, here's our weekly list. So they're giving him tasks. And you know, this goes through a lot of tasks back and forth. Evan says, hey, it's so great that you're supporting your girl like this. That's awesome. There's some stuff like, hey, have you posted that yet, Christian? And Christian's like, oh, actually, she got a takedown on TikTok. Oh, just appeal it. So the point of me showing you this is there is a contractual relationship between Christian and this management company. Apparently, to me, he's being given tasks and assignments directly from the management company. Because Courtney is not in this thread. And it goes on and on. There's a lot here. I'm not sure if this is their only thread, but it goes on for several months here. This is down in November. I don't know when today actually means, but we have a timestamp here of November 6th, 2021. And this is all important for two reasons, right? Because we know Courtney was saying, you're fired, you're fired. But we also had a press statement from Frank Prieto, Courtney Clenney's defense attorney. And remember, Courtney Clenney is claiming self-defense, and there's different things like self-defense. Oh, the other person was the initial aggressor, or they provoked me. I acted reasonably. There's all these different things that the defense is going to have to make the case for. And the defense has made a statement to the press before, noting this one thing. It's absolutely irresponsible for the family's attorney, the attorney representing the estate of Christian Obumseli, to allege that the events of that evening were, quote, unprovoked, or to insinuate that she is being afforded special treatment. Instead, he said his client is the victim of a long-term domestic violence and, quote, human trafficking. Now, if you ask me, is there supposed to be an umbrella, since they're not arguing Courtney Clenney acted this way because she has some type of, you know, insanity plea or anything like that. They're just saying she was acting in self-defense. If you want to say she was acting in self-defense in her actions against Christian Obumseli, and they're going to work a human trafficking angle in it, there needs to be some tie between Christian and the allegation of her being a victim of human trafficking for it to be justified for her to use that as a reason to stab him. And I don't know if they're going to follow through with this argument, but it is something that they've said to the press, and it perked up a lot of ears when this was said. Like, what do they mean? What are they talking about? And I think we can say clearly there's a working relationship here between Christian and the management team, Lexington Capital. Lexington Capital has obviously been subpoenaed. I don't know if they were initially subpoenaed by the attorneys representing the estates or if there was a separate subpoena coming in first or after from the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office. But in any case, I feel like, this is just my guess, that this working relationship, Christian is actually completing tasks that are given to him by this management company. There's got to be some type of contract in place between them, you would guess. My guess is that the defense is going to try to make an argument, or at least when they made this press statement, they had it in mind, that, hey, there might be an argument that we could make here, some type of human trafficking argument. Now, I'm not saying that that argument will be what they decide to go with in court. I'm not saying that I think it'll be a strong or a winning argument. I'm just saying, hey, I heard this thing, and this seems to kind of be a breadcrumb to how they would have even gotten there at all. What do you guys think? Do you think this is associated at all, where that press statement about Courtney being a victim of human trafficking, and thus what she did on 4/3 was not unprovoked? Because you can't just say someone else that had nothing to do with her allegedly being a victim of domestic violence and human trafficking. You can't just say that a random person that isn't tied to those two things, provoked her. It has to be connected. You're making a connection between those things. And I guess this would be the basis for it. Before I go on a tangent any further, I'm saying that the argument's unclear. I just know that it was mentioned. What do you guys think? And now we're going to get to the notes from this time period. Again, we don't have exact dates of that main Aspen fight video. We don't know the exact date that those photos where she's wearing the red bralette were taken. These notes, we're going to look at the surrounding context. They could have been written during. Some of them could have been written before. Some of them could have been written during the trip. Some of them were written after. But we're going to go through the ones that seem to relate to what was going on in their relationship in this small microscopic point of time in their relationship, spanning a few weeks. So we're going to start with this note that was on 1/21/2022. So January 21st, it was written at 5:13 in the morning and then was updated later that day at 2:50 p.m. So this one's important. It's not really about Christian, but it says codeine, hand, 70s. So this is why I was saying, guys, I think before she goes to Aspen, she has this finger cast on her thing. And that happened, whatever that involves, probably happened on or before 1/21. On 1/23, we have a note that says, and just by the way, the title and summary are combined in the body. So I'm not skipping anything. It's just repetitious to read both. So when you see me start reading each note, I'm starting at the body label here. Unfollowed Savannah months ago when I came home from Pokeworks while living on Riverside, crying because he knew she was shameless and still liked her pics, and is following her again now in January. Didn't think I'd notice. And we're reading from the bottom up, guys. So this bottom note here is 1:25, 11:27 a.m. It's updated later in the evening at 6 p.m. It says Friday at 1:30, finger, UM. That sounds like a medical center name. Dr. Chen, and then some numbers and okay, So I don't know what that means, but we have this finger mention again before they're in Aspen. On 1/26/2022, we have this note that there's nothing in it. I think it was a mistake. 1/26/2022 at 12:52 p.m. we have blew extremely hard into breathalyzer. Why are you blowing so aggressively? What am I doing? Then on 1/26/2022, it says Aspen. Bring Elsa Cost Bunny, Lola Bunny, Latex Bunny and Ears, and Weed Fit. So she's preparing to go to Aspen on 1/26/2022. So presumably has not left for Aspen yet. Now this next note, and there were some grocery lists in between, guys. I did skip some, like, pick up broccoli or whatever. But this is everything that was related to how she's feeling, anything that mentions their relationship, anything that mentions a finger injury or something about the trip. I promise I went through and tried to pull everything that was relevant without bombarding you with things about broccoli and shrimp. So, on 1/30, so January 30th, it was created on January 30th. It was modified on February 11th, but it says, the title's yesterday. The body says, this morning, was irritated. I was touching the pillow to him. I wasn't upset. He was in was his phone. Neither of us said anything. So I think that was saying he was in his phone, and it just, sometimes your cursor moves and you type in the middle of something. I think it says he was in his phone. Neither of us said anything. I asked to hit the puff. He was on his phone and hitting it, and I told him I'm about to work out. Walking past each other, he barks, "Good morning, Courtney," so aggressively my stomach dropped. Now, there's something I want to note about this note as we read it. You'll notice I cropped it at the bottom because I didn't want to include like random email addresses. Well, they're not random, but this field has been empty in all the other notes so far, and in like every note that I read, even the grocery list ones, there's 300 pages of these notes that have multiple notes per page. And for this one, and one other that we're going to look at, this one was CC'd, like an email, like she sent it to two Courtney Clenney emails, two different emails that had her name in it. So she emailed this note to herself, which I thought was interesting. It reads, "This relationship is taking a toll on me, both of us." And let me see if I can make this bigger. So this note reads, "This relationship is taking a toll on me, both of us. I love Christian and trusted him to raise my future kids. The names are whatever now because they were our names that won't be the same with someone else. That's just wrong anyway. I don't want to lose him. Honestly, Prob would never get over him, but if I'm going to do anything with my life, I might have to. Space, space. He says all these, and I think this is redacted. So guys, where we see this white space here, there are some other areas where I've noticed very obviously a redaction, like one word was redacted, and you can kind of see the outline of the white. The redactions in this document are white. They're not like the typical black bars that you see to do redactions. So it's my guess that these missing lines are redacted. So something here, and then it says, he kept asking why, and I didn't know what to say. But after 2 days of being in the living room, I had the chance to really think it through, and I think I figured it out. There's a part of me in the back of my head has been thinking it's over. And that part is not normally the dominant part because I have hope with all my wits about me. But that night, it took over. I absolutely do cope negatively and self-sabotage, but it's like he acts like my cheerleader, but also wants me to, why did he have to yell good morning at me, which we saw in the other text message? I seriously was not expecting that kind of energy. I didn't know I did anything wrong. I told him I was going to the gym, hadn't even eaten yet, so it's obvious I had a mission, and then he says he did that because I asked for the puff before saying good morning. Right after I said I was going to the gym real quick. He was hitting the puff and looking at his phone with his back to me. And there's 4 exclamations there. I wasn't even bothered, but make that make sense. Then he maliciously barks at good morning at me because, and then there's this parenthesis, I, question mark, parentheses, didn't say good morning first. My stomach dropped. I hated him for it, and it set off a bomb inside me. I meant it with all my heart when I said I'd never cheat on him, not Christian, and it's irreversible. So again, this note here is February 2nd, 2022. We just read this note about being barked at, the good morning, and the weird, I want to hit his puff while he's on the phone. We just looked at that note. That note was from the 30th. And we are going to get closer and closer into this, guys. We're going to look at more context, but there is a hospital records in the amended disclosure list, the stuff that's been sent in through discovery. This is not public record. I can't get access to this hospital record. We may hear about it in trial, right? And it may have actually come up a bit in the bond hearing. I don't exactly remember. But that was January 30th. We have the he barked at me good morning. And on the 2nd, she has this note that seems to go back and forth about, oh my God, is it over? Usually the other side of me, this and that. Well, there's this disclosure. It doesn't say for who. And, you know, we're going to find more details as we keep going through this video that you're watching right now and the rest of these notes. But there's the hospital records from January 30th, 2022, entered through discovery in this case, in the Miami case. Let's keep looking at these notes. So again, January 30th, she's upset. She says, my stomach dropped. Then on February 2nd, she writes this longer note. There's this redaction. This looks like 2 lines of redacted things and this long message. And remember, this email, this February 2nd, this first one from February 2nd, because we're going to look at another one. This was the one that I noticed, hey, that's weird. 2 of her emails are listed under parties. We're going to look at another one. This note is very long. It's going to be multiple parts, you guys. So, again, we are still on February 2nd. Now, this note here is 3:38 a.m. on February 2nd. That's when it was created. But it does say there was a modification. That could be nothing, guys. It could just be you hit a space button, right? We don't actually know. I don't have that information. But it says there is modified on February 5th, 2022. So maybe there was a modification. We just know it was originally created also on February 2nd, early in the morning, after that other long one. Interesting thing about this, you guys, is in the parties field, this note, this parties field also has Courtney's emails in those party fields, 2 of her emails. So I don't know, these were two notes that seems like she emailed to herself. I'm not sure if that's exactly what that means, but I did notice it because it's unusual compared to the rest of the notes in this 300 pages of notes. Let's read this one. It's long. It's going to be multiple screenshots to get through it. So before we get to the body down here, let's look at the attachments. There's something redacted here. It's possible that the file name gives away something that we're not supposed to know. Like the file, the image, the video, whatever it is, the file name says something that we're not supposed to see. So it's redacted. The body says, stop drinking, parentheses, with lapses in judgment, But guess what's back? And it's redacted. We'll keep reading, we can guess what it is. I worked so hard for years to finally have it under control, and it gave me more confidence in myself that I didn't need to do it. I'm good enough to eat like a normal person, and I didn't feel like I needed it anymore because I had control over my life again. And now I don't feel like I have any sense of control in my life anymore. I hate this part of myself, but WTF does that mean? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I have to find control like this. When it helps for a minute, then makes it worse, since I beat myself up every time. And I know he catches me sometime. Ew. He thinks I drink every time we fight to cope, but I wonder if he knows why I buy giant bags of Cheetos. Those dong-dongs he was joking about me buying, I laughed with him. We were getting along that day outside of 7-Eleven on South First, but we weren't getting along the night before when I got those. But does he know I had no intention of swallowing them when I bought them? Does he know I didn't swallow the Cheetos? Does he know I spent $60 on pasta today and knew I was only going to swallow a few bites so I don't get a stomach ulcer from my body preparing food when I start chewing? That's the tactic I used when I was younger, when I got an ulcer from it. And I'm not sure if this is a redaction or just an enter, guys, or a line break. Does Christian have any clue how madly, head over heels in love I was with him? How obsessed I was with him. I adored him. No one else existed. I still don't want anyone but him. He doesn't deserve this, and especially not from me. It broke our trust all over again. I hope I didn't break his heart, but I'm pretty fucking sure I did. But does he have any idea how he makes me feel nowadays? I fell in love with him because he made me feel like I was worth something. He doesn't do that anymore. Yes, sometimes. But I'm injured all the time now. My shoulder's hideous. My right hand is fucking disgusting. This wasn't my life 2 years ago. Yes, I have injured myself from violence once in the past. But why was that? Oh. And let's get to the second part. What are you making of this description here? You know, with eating disorders, guys, there is an element of control. You know, it's not just about, I want to be a certain way and I want to look a certain way. There is a psychological element where an eating disorder can help you regain control and deal with, you know, anxiety, stress, you know, mental things that you're dealing with. And again, this is her notes, guys. We're reading her notes. So she may not have expected this to ever be in someone's eyes. But to me, this is my personal insight here. It's signaling that something inside of her she's having some type of real thing going on in her mind. She feels out of control. And it's causing her to go spend $60 on pasta, whole bags of Cheetos, things of dong-dongs. You know, she's cycling back into something she didn't need for a while. And now she's cycling back into it in a pretty extreme, voluminous way. And then the following paragraph, it expresses, does he know how madly head over heels in love I was with him? So what's causing this stress here? But then we get down here and it mentions some injuries, but I'm injured all the time now. My shoulder's hideous. Right hand is fucking disgusting. This wasn't my life 2 years ago. Yes, I have injured myself from violence once in the past, but why was that? So how do you take this paragraph, this last paragraph here, before we go into the next bits? How do you take this paragraph here? If we go on the presumption that Courtney wrote these and never expected anybody to see them. She never expected this to see the light of day. And if you consider that for these 2 notes from February 2nd, specifically, those 2 notes, very unusually, in the parties field, have 2 email addresses. And Courtney's name is in both of those email addresses. Does that change the way... Does that make a difference? What do you think? I'm going to move on to the next page. Please let me know your thoughts on this, because I spent some time looking at this and I had a bunch of ideas. Now this next part here. But why was that? Oh yeah, my ex-loser boyfriend who crashed my birthday party and then wouldn't get out of my bed. WTF, ew, no. A little boy who is not welcome in my bed is going to get his ass beat if you won't respect that. That's a fact. I'm not playing with these fucking men, lol. But now I'm just fucking abusive. Why is that? I'm turning into an ugly person, and so is he. Maybe it's because of me, or maybe I'm finally seeing his true colors. He always said he had anger issues, but I don't think that really matters, because there was a good reason. What my problem is that he always said that he used to lie. A lot. So it only makes sense that he would grow up to gaslight and blow me off and lie. He says he's sick of hearing the word gaslighting, but I'm fucking sick of having to say it. It's a non-stop, actually fucking constant. He had the audacity to say a few minutes past midnight into 2022. that him not bringing my car back or telling me he was taking it shouldn't be talked about because it was last year, and then he throws every single mistake I've ever made in the last year and a half in my face. And the second she gets a chance to talk, I think it means he, so that should probably say he throws every single mistake I've ever made in the last year and a half in my face the second he gets a chance to talk. Make that make sense. I know I fucked up. I never wanted to hurt him. I regret it so much, and I'm so disappointed with myself where we are right now. I do wish he'd understand who we are to each other recently and how we may have gotten here. I don't feel loved. I do at times because he does sometimes put in the effort. I don't feel appreciated or adored or happy. Yeah, I don't suck his dick enough because one, I was hungover a lot. 2, I just don't want to. He's mean. He doesn't eat me out anymore either, LMAO. And if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Like I said, head is a privilege in my book, so I definitely didn't suck anybody's dick like he was saying. Actually, who knows? I clearly didn't have any self-respect that night. Does this random person deserve me? How would I know? Probably not. Most men don't deserve me or a woman at all. But I went home with someone anyway. WTF, Courtney. I'm better than this. Yeah, I has a hoe phase, but not anymore. I think it's supposed to say I had a, but not anymore. And actually, when there have been times I fucked up or was mean to him and he did actually eat me out, I was surprised because I didn't deserve it. But I'm glad So this note is accelerating quickly, right? And we have more clarity on what she mentioned earlier, breaking his trust. And we get this long lead up into how. And she's kind of like, oh, he doesn't, we don't do head, whatever, I think it's a privilege. I didn't give that guy I cheated on him with head. As if it's like, isn't that an interesting way to introduce something? Instead of just coming out and saying flat out, oh, I broke his trust because I cheated on him. We have this long note, and the way she introduces it is by saying, I didn't even suck that guy's dick that I cheated on him with. That's an interesting way to introduce, like, that's just my take. Again, let's go on to the next part of this note. So she's saying that she was surprised because I didn't deserve it, but I'm glad I know how he feels now. He doesn't even want to fuck me, but he's mad I don't suck his dick. Okay, probably talks about it in the lobby. I don't suck hookups. What I tell him? Did I do it in What I tell him? Did I do it in November? No, definitely did in Dallas. But I wanted him and trusted him, so he's different. I told him I don't do it, and he better clean me. It's my personal rule and boundary, and if a guy thinks that's lame, find another throat. But anyway, that's just stuck in my head like hell, and I realized I might be scared of hurting him because I legit got criticism from someone in 2020, and then I start dating Christian, and his dick is bigger. A bitch is scared, now shaking my head, like I need a bigger mouth, lol. I'm scarred from that. Scarred or scared? Probably scarred from that. And he stops me early-ish a lot. So I'm like, great. What guy stops head? Just saying. Makes me wonder. But I hate him half the time anyway. So that's certainly not the only reason. And when he was asking me why I didn't want to get back on his dick, I'm like, my hand smells like a foot. I'm thinking about how to hide it the whole time. And I can't touch him like I want to, even when he's on top or behind me, because I can't touch his back or grab his face and neck when I kiss him. We both wish it was different. I just want to have S with my man, but let me keep going and trying to figure out what body part to lean on this time. He thinks I don't notice what he does do, but I think it's the other way around. Doesn't really notice the good things that I do, but the bad things are much louder to him. He's called me shorty a few times, and I effing love it. I notice that, and it makes me horny because I'm like, yes, it's the old Christian that I love so much, and I was all over 24/7. When he compliments me, I definitely notice it, because he doesn't really do it a lot anymore. Damn, this is the first time I cried writing this note. When he gave me a pep talk about Aspen and my cast, I noticed. So, she says she's crying writing this note. We just had a long conversation about what sentimental value was there, and the transactions in the relationship, and what makes her feel things are good, and exclusive, and at a higher level than just a hookup. And then she says, this is the first time I cried writing this note. Now we're going to talk about Aspen. When he gave me a pep talk about Aspen and my cast, I noticed. Overall, he doesn't make me feel like he wants me much anymore. Just an ugly soul that's not even attractive to him anymore. I am, and we're in all caps for a few lines here, so effing insecure recently, and then he's surprised at how I reacted to him refollowing a bee who disrespected me in front of my face at my man's party. Huh? Nah. And now we're not in caps anymore. He knew good and well there was a good reason I told him to unfollow her. He went out of his way to do that. And then he compares it to look at someone up. No, he compares it to me, not, are you following Spencer? No, how would that work? I would look like a bee, and Karen might not even like me anymore, because why would I have a problem with anyone in the group? That's something Vonnie would do. Not even close to the same thing. If I really followed Jermichael, and we're going to get to the next note, so let me know what you guys are thinking so far about this part. So if I really followed Jermichael Christian, I think that would be means for you to dump me. So she's like speaking to Christian directly in this note. If I really followed Jermichael Christian, I think that would be means for you to dump me. Because that sends a message to someone who has a thing for me that is blatantly disrespectful to my partner. Jermichael would think, oh, she is a man and still refollowed me? Let me slide in her DMs. She must be interested again. Same shit Savannah was thinking. He knows how works, right? I know how bitches work. She knows you're dating me and knows you refollowed her. She got the notification. That sent a message that is absolutely not okay. Eli has no idea I ever looked at anything. Hell no, I would not go follow Jermichael or Eli. They would be in my DMs in 2 minutes because it's a signal. Christian, you liked one photo of Savannah's. That one photo in April, I actually just cracked up because of how many times he talked about this, quote, conversation we had, in which I indicated I would be cool with that. Ha 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 ha, nah. Why not follow the girl from Dallas? Oh, right. She has a man, and she never disrespected me and tried to get my man's attention when we were together. But who did? Who am I legitimately sus of? Savannah. Yeah, she has a man, I guess. Didn't know that. But you said yourself that Les said, yeah, she has a boyfriend, but I'm gonna hook up with her anyway. Shut the F up. That shit was ugly to me. Give me a shameless B a signal for me. Give a shameless B a signal for me and embarrass me like that. You did that, but yeah, let me suck your dick, please, lol. And I think this is a break. Maybe it was a redaction, but I think it's just a line break. Then she says, side note. I have been attempted to be contacted by 4 exes in the last few years. I gave none of them access. One of them actually effing died without access to me, but he could have lived to be 80 and still in my DMs and could still F off back to his nursing home. But he legit died without access to me, but he tried. Guys, it's my guess that she's talking about Shawn Rhoden. There's other notes about that, and that's been a rumor floating around. The notes give some stuff some weight, and I'll do a separate video on that. But because we know that Shawn Rhoden has passed away, it's possible that this is the person we're talking about here. But he legit died without access to me, but he tried. But nope. I dodged a bullet and I'm not getting back in the line of fire. And I'm going to be honest with you because I'm being as honest with myself as I can now. I don't want to block Jermichael. I didn't want to block Shawn. I did back in the day. How many names are we at? But he blocked me before I can get to him and block him first. But I was scared of him. So you better believe I didn't want him looking at my pictures or knowing where I was. The reason is this. Jermichael treated me like dog shit. He had no respect for me. But he didn't have respect for any of the mothers of his children either. I want these people to know they will never have access to me again, regardless of how hard they try. The last interaction that I had with him was an email. So Shawn Rhoden is H-A-W-N, but I wonder if this Shawn mentioned here, maybe that was autocorrect or she just typed it wrong, or is it a different Shawn? I don't know. But anyway, down here, she's saying, Jermichael treats me bad. He had no respect for me. I want these people to know they'll never have access to me again, regardless of how hard they try. The last interaction that I had with him was an email. So him, you would think that she's speaking about this last name. She mentioned Jermichael, but I don't know. Because it goes on to say, was an email that I got from his lawyer gagging me and formally asking me once to halt harassment of Shawn Rhoden and the Richardson family. The Richardson family is extremely, extremely rich. And Mr. Olympia. This little 19-year-old girl, who are they going to believe? They made it out like I had a celebrity crush on him and was threatening his daughter and hacking her baby monitor. He was effing insane. When they sent that email and I knew they were trying to pin it all on me, I saw stars. I almost passed out and I just had to lay down and take that shit like a bitch. Never spoke to him again. So hell yeah, I finally got a chance for a little F you when I open them and keep it moving. And again, I don't know if this is a line break. It doesn't look like a redaction. It doesn't look like there's white blocks to me. But who knows, maybe it is. Oh yeah, he never used the word slut or pathetic, but what does he make me feel when he says he knows me and what, quote, I'd do if we broke up? I may have been too friendly in a couple times, but then Christian's practically attacking my character and saying these guys think I want them. Like the egghead from Tulum and Migs. Makes me feel gross, but oh well. What really makes me feel gross is him degrading me in my Sailor Moon outfit. Quote, yeah, with a smile, go get cute for everyone, go get cute. And then me telling him something I must have said drunk about my number. I definitely sounded like the other 4 guys, but he said the other 40 guys. Just as hurtful. Yeah, Christian, you've never used the word slut, that degrading ass slap, and throwing something I clearly wouldn't be proud of in my face like I'm just nasty. Doesn't matter which he said to me, I felt numb. I hate that feeling. I was numb in the shower after that lawyer arred me in my own bed. I wasn't even crying. I just hated myself and my body and felt nasty. This morning, I was numb and nasty. That one was deep. I was trash to him. Then again, I felt like a piece of crap when I woke up in that fucking room, and not Christian. Why not bring up what I told you in the hot tub in Pirates Cove, huh? I was undoubtedly ashamed of that nasty ass shit, so why now? Why not throw that in my face too? Maybe this would be now, so now why not? You want to make me feel like trash? Bring that shit up too. And again, she emailed, this is one of the 2 notes. This is very long, but it's still from February 2nd. The parties, I don't have them in this image, but for these 2 notes, her emails were there in the parties field. Remember, that long note that we just read, there was a modification marked for February 5th, although we don't know what would have been modified and what wasn't modified. We don't know if it was anything significant. But this next note of relevance is February 5th at 8:08 p.m. So it says, Christian, I'm assuming it's supposed to say begin, by saying you are so special to me and who I plan on my kids calling, quote, Dad. You deserve better treatment on Sunday, to state the obvious. Now, January 30th of 2022 was a Sunday. That's when we have that hospital record. What do we have highlighted here? You deserve better treatment on Sunday, to state the obvious, but you deserve better in the days following and when I cut you. I absolutely hate myself, what I did to you, and how hurt you must feel. I think it's supposed to say I'd give anything to be able to take it back and just go home or urgent care, because I disappeared on you, then this happens. Honestly, what would be better is just turning back time to a year ago, knowing what we know now. I'd move different from the beginning, I'd know to be a good girl in the Maldives, and then we would have to come back even more in love because of what that trip would mean to us forever. I ruined that, and I've ruined things again. It's impossible to tell you enough how much I love you, I adore you. And here, look, nothing listed in the parties for this email. Nothing listed in the parties for this email. She doesn't put her emails here. And most of the notes don't have that. It was like the 2 that we read on February 2nd that had that. Now, the next thing we're going to look at, guys, this is your warning. I'm going to say it 2 times. If you're queasy, you will not want to look at the screen for this, because we're going to see the cuts on Christian's face. They're deep. They're not just like what we saw on Courtney's arm. They are deep, gross, gooey cuts. So, I will let you know when it's safe to come back. If you're queasy, it's going to show a preview as soon as I click this, so don't look. Close your eyes right now. So there was a Fox special. It was I think it was like the TMZ Fox collaboration. I don't really remember the details, but I had screenshotted these texts, and they're actually under a protective order. So they gave me a non-response. They said they couldn't produce the set of text messages that this sequence is from. It's currently subject of, I'm not sure if it's pending or standing yet. So it might become available before the trial starts. It might, who knows? I don't know. But there was a series of text messages that was in this Fox thing that read, I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm going to tell him it happened during football. Come, I'm scared. And Courtney said, nah, you're not. Then this is the cuts, guys. So, and they got them from Christian's phone. So Christian took these photos. This, I believe, if we follow the timeline of these notes, because we have January 30th. He barked good morning at me and I wanted to hit the puff. He was hitting the puff while he was on his phone. Then February 2nd, we have 2 very long notes that say a lot of things. And then February 5th, she's like, I wish I didn't do that to you on Sunday. I adore you. I love you. I hurt you, whatever, when I cut your face. So with the hospital record being dated January 30th, I would suggest that this is that hospital visit. And as you can see how deep it is. And again, you know, just they can't produce this. It's not disclosable under a public records request, but we know that there's something submitted in discovery of a hospital record dated January 30th, 2022. So if you're queasy, you can look back at the screen now. Let's get into notes from February 6th, 2022. And this note was at 8:23 p.m. It says, 6:32, a while, ... like 5 minutes. I hope you follow through with that. Nods head, closes door. Part of his job as my team is helping me be good before a collabs or a shoot. So Courtney Clenney mentions in her notes, like, hey, you know, that's his job to do this to get me ready. It's his job. But Frank Prieto is going with this press statement where he mentions human trafficking. And then there was an interview on TMZ where another creator, Patty K, describes, you know, that she saw Christian offer up drugs to CC, Courtney Clenney, on a platter, urging her to do a line of coke. So just some additional context to sprinkle in there, because Courtney here in a note that's not sent to any emails, it's just presumably for her to see. Part of his job as my team is helping me be good before collabs or shoots. As in, it's his job to do that. So if this becomes a line of argument, the human trafficking line, and that Christian partook in some type of human trafficking, this probably wouldn't be great for that argument. But I don't even know. Just pondering, right? Just playing hypotheticals here. So after that note, we have on 2/7 at 12:18 a.m. So right after midnight. So 2/6 into 2/7. It was modified on 2/11. And it says, and this is presumably, guys, so you might have heard me mention that it's unclear sometimes if when she's quoting Christian, something Christian said to her, or if she's just saying it. So we got to read this. There aren't quotations. It isn't like a copy and paste of a screenshot, but it seems like it's a little bit of a mix of both here. It says, you're a bitch, fucking bitch. I'll go have fun with other people. I don't have fun with you anymore. Dozens of stank faces, an angry/condescending eyeing of me. You're stupid, stupid ass, quote, with your ass, unquote. You suck as a person. Put his fingers in my face and shoved me multiple times. Flipped me off a few times. You waste puffs. You're always embarrassing me. He said from the stairs, quote, I don't care about you anymore. He went down the stairs and I said, Christian, and he kept walking. I don't like you anymore. Quote, I hate you, end quote. I said, do you mean that? He said, yes. All of this was cattily. Regardless, he yanked as hard as he could on my left arm like it was 100% intentional. But the excise it because I hit/spit. And then it ends. But it was modified, it was added, like, I don't know. It ends there. On 2/7 at 1:45 a.m., which is modified on Valentine's Day at 11:10 p.m., so on 2/14. We have another note that was created on 2/7, over an hour after the first one. Right? Yeah, just over an hour after the first one was created. This note, the second note on 2/7 says, well, this fucking sucks. Pretty sure Christian is done with me and sounds like he's already even over me completely. I never wanted him to stay gone if I told him to leave/get out. I never wanted to actually let it happen when I said I was done. He told me he hates me and that he doesn't care about me anymore. Not just he doesn't care, he said it for a reason. I'm nothing to him anymore. He admitted that he thought I was cheating the whole relationship. WTF. That really bothered me to hear. So at least it's bad enough. Happening now after the buildup of hatred and dishonesty. I guess I cracked out of pure drunkenness. I can't even picture the face in my head, and it disgusts me that in all of the shit we've been through and made it through, what happened? Because I am absolutely appalled when I woke up and realized I was going to have to tell you, and so scared knowing you were most likely leaving. My man walked in on me in the bathroom of a random person's house before I could get to him first. That sticks in someone's head. I can't take it back. I can't apologize enough times, and it broke the trust, even though he admitted he never actually trusted me, which was like, wow. I hurt him in a way that I know how it feels, but not someone who was as important as Christian. It doesn't feel good. I want to take that back for him, but I can't. And then the very next note is on 2/8 at 7:42 in the morning, and it says, he threw an orange at my pussy. And then, guys, there's some notes in between that, but I do want to mention that there is a note on March 8th, so this is fast-forwarding a month, 30 days. There is a note where It's titled Tired High Thoughts and says, saw new skin liquid bandages for Christian's chin. That cut was so deep, it hasn't stopped oozing for 5 weeks now. So if you looked away when we showed those pictures, that's what I meant when I said it was deep. This wasn't just like a little scrape. That cut was so deep, it hasn't stopped oozing for 5 weeks now. Like, to me, guys, that was clearly a knife to the face. I know he cries about it. Well, I don't know, but I think so. He's definitely cried about what else I did that night, obviously. So January 30th, there's a hospital report. We have all these long notes on February 2nd. There's two. One's long, one's very long. They weave all over the place. There may have been modifications. They had listed emails. It listed her emails in the parties field, 2 of her emails. But here, we're referencing the cut. And that he cries about the cut. And that he's definitely cried about what else I did that night. To me, I read this as, what else I did that same night that I cut your face? What else I did that night? So she did the cut. She did something else that night. Because we have the defense attorney saying 4-3 wasn't just unprovoked. It's also very confusing because one of her notes references someone did something to me, but she's mentioning it while she's saying the trust was broken. And then she finally admits in this February 7th text. Remember, this March 1 is where we just see her say when his face was cut. But back on February 7th, that's where we see, oh, you were leaving. I can't believe I think this is over. I'm sure it's like done for good. I was so scared. I woke up and realized I'd have to tell you. You walked in on it. It broke the trust. So all of this is happening in the notes. But then there's also Aspen, where we see her fighting because Milan is saying something. And he's letting Milan think something. So again, we have this Aspen to bring list, this packing list on 126. We have a hospital thing on 130. And again, you guys, I really don't know why these texts are now subject to a protective order, but they weren't able to turn them over in completeness. But there are relics of them online because of that bond hearing, and also the Tampa Bay Times had covered some of the text messages from January 30th. So here it says, then on January 30th, after they'd moved into the One Paraiso apartment building in Miami's Edgewater neighborhood, their text messages revealed they planned to buy blow, street slang for cocaine. In the early evening, as he was at a bar watching a football game, they began arguing over the tone of their text messages to each other. She got upset because he answered, "Yes, Courtney?" "Yes, Courtney is unnecessary," she wrote, according to the text messages. "I continue to have to explain to you how to act." What exactly happened when they finally met up in person is unclear, but later that night, Clenney wrote, "Hopefully this will give you time to think about your actions and enjoy the hospital." Obumseli had suffered the 2 gashes on his face and was on his way to seek medical attention. "Tell them your side then, I'll tell them what happened," she wrote. He wrote back, "I'm not saying anything, and I'm a say football incident." Later that night and the next day, according to the text, he messaged her repeatedly, decrying getting stabbed multiple times. "I was in the hospital looking forward to seeing you, and you go drink and leave with someone when your boyfriend BF is passed out on the bed getting stitched up because I lost so much blood." Days after the stabbing, Clenney texted a series of profuse apologies. "I love you so much, Christian. I should have been at the hospital with you, and I should have slept next to you. I always have," she wrote, adding later, "I feel extreme regret, sadness, and humiliation, and I am so, so sorry for hurting you." And then there's also this text message, and let me contextualize it, guys. This, I believe, I have a screenshot from the bond hearing. However, when I requested recently this series of text exchanges from this hospital visit from around this time period, the response from the state attorney's office was that it was subject to a motion for a protection order. So can't get the full exchange at this time, but this was available at some point. I grabbed it. I'm pretty sure it was from the bond hearing. It reads, and it was January 31st at 5:10 a.m. "From getting stabbed multiple times," this is Christian speaking, "from getting stabbed multiple times to forgiving and being forgived, marriage talks, kid talks, vulnerable to you. This is what I deserve? Babe, I was in the hospital and you went to Midtown and slept somewhere for the night? Why, Courtney, why?" And then don't forget, these texts became public because of the bond hearing back in November 2022, but Christian had sent these text messages on, was it February 25th and 26th? But in them, he's saying, is love going to kill me? And guys, we're going to get into there's some notes, more notes from March and April from when there was that disturbance call. There's some notes where Courtney talks about her thoughts about the building staff. And she types out a note that she sends her landlord, the property manager, property owner. We're going to look at that stuff in another video. But we have these texts from the end of February. February was the worst month I had so far. I got cheated on. I got called that word again. I got slapped in my stitches that has reopened multiple times and it's not healing fast enough. So she makes a thing, his stuff's still oozing, but he's saying in a text message to her, I got slapped in my stitches. I got cheated on by Courtney. I got called that word again by who? I got slapped again in my stitches by who? We know I got cheated on refers to Courtney doing the cheating. Who's doing the actions in these other things? Think logically reading this. Courtney, you sent me to jail. You called the cops on me. You threatened me with security, knowing I have a warrant out because of something you caused. And I still love you after all of that because I knew regardless of what I went through, the first person that I wanted to see was you. And she doesn't come to the hospital. And then on 4/3, on the day she stabs him, this is what she says. She says some interesting things in just this short clip that we're going to see. But most importantly, watch what she says about why she needs to be at the hospital. It's about a minute that we're going to watch.
Sit down.
He's not dead, is he?
We don't.
No, they're taking him to the hospital right now.
He's in the hospital right now.
I need to be at the hospital with him.
Oh, you're not going anywhere.
Why?
Because we're conducting an investigation.
I have self-defense. My mom was on the phone.
You get it? Well, listen, the detectives are coming. You're gonna talk to them, and then you're gonna explain your side.
But I'm gonna be covered in blood. I look crazy. I was holding him while he was spurting blood, trying to stop the blood.
Okay. So I need you to explain to me exactly what happened. I need you to be calm, okay, and explain to me exactly what happened. So
I just feel like I'm gonna throw up because I feel like he might. It looked like y'all were carrying him out on a body bag.
Yeah, because we couldn't get him on the stretcher because it's too small of a thing.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay.
I really want to be there. He would want me to be there.
I understand that, but I need
Me to be there. Why does she know that he would want her to be there? Because on January 30th, when it seems like that was the day that she sliced his face, he said, babe, I'm scared. Come to the hospital. And she said, haha, no, you're not. And she didn't go. But then if you look at these notes where he talks about all the instances, I don't know which one's matching with what, but he says, I still love you after all that because I knew regardless of what I went through, the first person I wanted to see was you. Did you pay for my medical bills at Parkland that day after the Crescent? No. Did I even tell you how much it was for the ambulance, for the CT scan, for the medication, for the hospital room? No, I didn't tell you that. Just handled it on me. Did I ask my girlfriend for $4,000 back? Nah. Just wanted to be next to her after I went through something horrific. But did she want to be next to me when I'm going through something? And then down here he says, honestly, do you think to yourself, I've cut this person's face and I've stabbed him. I called him out his name to the highest level. And he could, if he was an evil person, he could ruin my career. He can go and tell the police, go to the courtroom, but no. He won't do that to you because he loves you. Now the question is, if he won't do that to you, why would you do that to him? I literally was face down in uptown Dallas, handcuffs, when people are screaming, well, you were drunk upstairs and I had to go to jail. Now you're telling me you wouldn't just say, hey, Christian, honestly, here's $1.50. Please move on. Let's do life together. Already got therapy set up. I'm going to help and heal for you. I'm going to help and heal you. Take that because you deserve it. If it grows, put it in crypto for the both of us, or fix your face, etc. Could you do that? All this stuff is affecting me too. You can go out and have fun, right? Now you think you'll go out and have fun if you had a slash on your chin? Do you think you'll be making content if you had stitches on your face? My God, you literally just had surgery on your shoulder, and you're hitting me with your left hand. You literally need surgery or to have a cast on your right fingers, and you're hitting me with your right hand. Again, this was sent on February 28th. So, this is in the middle, we read a lot of stuff from January and February from Courtney's notes, and we read one note from her on March 8th, which would have been after she got this message. And it references some of the stuff in here. His skin is still oozing. Just because. I know he cries about it. Well, I don't know, but I think so. He's definitely cried about what else I did that night, obviously. So, with that, guys, I know we've seen that fight, that main video, the Aspen fight. I know we've seen those text messages. Some of the dates I'm not exactly sure on, but when we look at this as a big picture, when we say, hey, if we start with that January 26th, where it says it's our packing list for Aspen, and we get through all the notes through February 7th and 8th, and then we see this March note that references stuff that happened. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about the self-defense argument? What do you think about the relationship? What are you thinking if you have advice for someone who's dealing with something like this? You know, the comments, the chat, if you're watching this during the premiere, it's your place to share your thoughts. You never know who's listening and who could take your advice to heart and learn something from it. But guys, any insights you have, any aspect of this that you want to mention, if you want to tie this into something else, more than welcome. If you have something else that relates to the Aspen incident and the period of time right before and right after it, like, let's talk about that, because that's what this video is really focused in on. We will do other videos again. These notes, there's more about Shawn Rhoden in these notes. There's a lot more. I don't want to get into a body count, but there's a lot more about different exes. They're not all named while they're being talked about, but names do come up in this. But on that note, guys, I know some of the dates are unclear and they're a bit all over the place, but we just know there's kind of, you know, this bubble, this time period where things all kind of associate around this Aspen trip, and the core theme of, are you cheating on me? Are you cheating on me? Did you actually cheat? Someone actually cheated for sure. We walked in on it. But with that, I'll turn the floor over to you guys. Again, open floor for any thoughts, any ideas, any other information that you think is relevant. This was focused on Aspen, Colorado, and that specific time frame, you know, like January to that March text. But there will be other things that I want to tie in together. You know, the notes talk about a lot more than just this time period. So I'm going to try to organize it, put it in a way that's digestible and easy to see and follow through, and get more of that published as I have the time. In a couple days, on April 23rd, we have the status hearing. I'm going to try to do a live stream with the chat. It's great to have the chat. I love when people can come together and talk live and have some discussions. And that starts at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on this Tuesday, April 23rd. So again, if you want to see when I go live to stream that hearing and talk about it, join the chat with us, hit the bell so that way you actually get the notification. If you guys just want to catch more video content, make sure you're liking and subscribing so YouTube puts it in front of you next time I publish a new video. But again, floor is yours, guys. You guys let me know what you think. You guys all take care until next time.